Yo, what is going on, guys? Jordy back with another T3 video. Today, I'm going to be going over my Super Season 1 flank tier list. If you guys haven't checked out the two previous tier list videos, I've already gone over all of the vanguards as well as the damage heroes. Today, we're going to be checking out the flankers, and then the next video will be about the support heroes to round off this little mini series of tier list videos for Super Season 1. I wanted to break all of the tier list videos into each separate role, so I can go a little bit more in depth on each hero and kind of give my thoughts and opinions on everything. So let's jump into it with the first hero in the D tier, which is going to be Diggy. Now, the reason I did put Diggy in D tier is because she's kind of always fell into the D tier. Even with some of the changes and getting that new ability to teleport, she still feels kind of lackluster. She does have a pretty nice burst in damage with her shotgun. However, it is kind of hard to be consistent and output the same amount of damage every single time. You kind of have to be really accurate with it, and it just doesn't feel very good right now. She can do some pretty fun things with Neon, where you can kind of do like a little bit of a teleport behind enemy lines, and then Neon can jump to you, and you now have like a two-man sandwich effect, if you will, to where you have two people flanking, and then you also have the three other people in front of the enemies, so you can kind of crush the enemy from both sides. And that is fun, and it can work. But other than that, she doesn't really have anything else going for her. Her ultimate isn't very good. Her second ultimate, whenever that comes back into the game, might actually bump her up in the tier list, because I feel like her second ultimate was better. But since her second ultimate currently isn't in the game, and she doesn't really provide much else for the team, she is going to stay in the D tier for now. Moving on to the C tier, we have Vincent. Now, Vincent is one of those heroes that, one, not everyone has access to because he does cost money to obtain, and two, he is so weak as far as his health pool is concerned that he is kind of easy to kill, which makes him really hard to play. Now, there is those crazy players who can just perfect him so well and do some crazy things. I'm talking about you, T3 God. T3 God is an absolute menace with him. If you guys didn't see the 5v5 show match during the first season of the Arena League, T3 God was on my team, and he actually played Vincent and got like 17 kills and 2 deaths. He went absolutely nuts with him. And if you can perfect him to that level, he is actually a really strong hero. He can utilize his abilities to see through walls, to know which lane your enemies are coming down. And information is such a strong thing in competitive game types. And so he does provide the information to your team. He does have his one-shot capabilities, and he can do some really crazy plays. But other than that, he's just kind of there for the fear factor and just kind of to scare the enemies, thinking, oh no, Vincent's going to get me. I got to pay attention to all corners and all angles, and ends up like being a distraction more than anything else. So he does have a little bit of utility to him, but I feel like his health pool just makes him really hard to play. He is one of those heroes that has a really high skill ceiling, and if you can perfect it, then yeah, you can play him at an S tier. But for the majority of players who either don't have him or do have him, he is going to stay in that C tier level. Moving up to the B tier, our first B tier hero is Kazama. Kazama did get this new flying capability with his new second ability. And basically what he can do with it is he can fly in any single direction he wants for 3 seconds. And it is also cancelable, so you can just kind of pop out of it whenever you want. It does allow him to do a little bit more flanking, since now he is in that flanker role. Previously, he was in the damage role, but now since he is a flanker, it kind of makes more sense to have him have this like flying capabilities. And it is really fun. However, it is not very strong. He can do some fun things. And again, if you are a crazy Kazama player, then yeah, you're going to utilize this to the most benefit possible. But he does fall a little short, no pun intended, because he is short, on the actual meta and what he can actually provide to the team. However, that being said, when the second ultimates do come back into the game, I feel like Kazama is going to be actually a very meta option, strictly because his second ultimate can do so much damage in 5v5. It is going to be ridiculous. You're going to be able to get some team wipes, and he's going to be a very top meta pick. So once that second ultimate comes back, Kazama might go up to A tier, but for now, we are going to leave him in the B tier just because he doesn't really provide necessarily a whole lot of flanking to the game unless you are absolutely crazy with him. The other B tier hero is Aleta. Now, Aleta used to be absolutely S tier 100%, but since they did kind of change how she functions, a little bit. And also, she doesn't have that self-healing anymore with her ultimate. It does kind of bring her down the ranks. And so B tier, I felt, was a very good spot for her. It's kind of middle of the ground. If you are crazy with her, you're going to be playing her at an S tier. And if you aren't as good with her, then you could actually fall down to a D tier player. But the middle of the road feels really good for Aleta. She's that distraction. She zips around. She is just kind of that annoyance, that little pest that just kind of does her thing on either carts or points and just kind of deters the enemies or distracts the enemies away from the actual objective. So you can play her very well. Then yes, you're going to be playing her at an S tier, but I feel like middle of the road is really good for her right now. She doesn't have a whole lot of damage output. However, you can get some pretty crazy stuff going with her ultimate, but she is a very middle of the ground hero, and so B tier felt right for her currently, unless of course you are playing her at a professional level, then she is S tier. But B tier for me, for sure, that is where she's going to stay. Moving on to the A tier, the first hero up is Shell. Now, Shell is very prominent in the meta currently. She is one of the go-to flankers that a lot of people are picking. She can deal with those enemy Gatlins. She can do some really nice plays with her ultimate on point. If you can throw it and make it stop on point or on a cart, you're going to be dealing that damage over time. And her new ability allows her to kind of just have a little bit of extra damage output, which is pretty good, especially if you time it correctly. You can actually get some pretty crazy kills with it, but Shell is definitely a very strong pick. I feel like she is going to be a lot stronger once we do get the second ultimates in the game, because her second ultimate was just so strong when it was actually in the game, but only time will tell when that actually happens. So for now, I'm going to leave her in the A tier, but she can do some really crazy plays and could potentially be an S tier hero in the future. The other A tier flanker is going to be Ya. Now, Ya is actually very strong against enemy Gatlins. And if you guys didn't see my damage tier list video, we put Gatlin at S tier, potentially even OP tier, because Gatlin is everywhere right now. And the fact that Ya can deflect the enemy Gatlin's incoming damage and deflect it back to her and get a kill with it is pretty strong. On top of which, she is a flanker. So you're going to be able to flank those Gatlins, those Osos, a bunch of different snipers. She just does a lot for the team. And her ultimate is actually pretty strong as well. You can get some really nice team wipes with it. And she just brings a lot to the table. The only bad side about Ya currently is that her pistol doesn't really do a whole lot of damage. But the fact that you're having other teammates kind of weaken the enemies and you can get some crazy like triple dashes is just really strong. Ya is a very, very top tier hero, and I definitely think she fits into the A tier spot currently in the meta. Now, of course, we are doing a tier list, so we got to talk about the S tier, and everyone knows that it's Johnny Jet. Johnny is so strong right now. He does so much for the team as far as stalling a cart or stalling a point. His little grenade like turret guy is very strong as well. You'd be surprised at how many kills you actually get with that, but he is super strong. His ultimate is really good. He just controls points. He stays alive. He stays invisible, and he has that self-healing capability with his puddles. So you're just doing so much with Johnny as far as being that objective player, but also being a flanker. So if you need to play the flanker role and you are Johnny, you can actually go and flank those enemy Gatlins or those enemy snipers and actually take care of them, then get back to point really fast and then hold it down and just play the objective. Johnny is crazy right now and is 100% an S tier hero. All right, guys, so that was my tier list for all of the flankers in Super Season 1. Let me know down in the comments if you have any sort of different views on it or which heroes you are currently playing that I maybe put too low but could potentially be higher. I would love to have a discussion in the comments of just your thoughts and opinions so I can make these videos better in the future. But I will talk to you guys next time. We do have one more video in this little series coming out soon. It's going to be of all of the support heroes in the game, so stay tuned for that. And then we also have the Judix Lucky Draw skin coming out as well. So again, stay tuned for that too. But I'll talk to you guys next time. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, peace out, guys.